happy about it. We have huge week ahead. We have really high numbers of weeks for this weekend. Absolutely ready. Everywhere we have thousands of runners out there, so whoever competitive series, we have to be hard for you. Let's hope we'll have a good result of the last year. Go against the strong club this weekend. Yesterday we had a good practice session.
Audio check, audio check. Audio check, audio check. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies for the little delay getting on the mic. We are here for the Tier 2s tonight at Misano for round 4 of the GT3 Championship here at Motive on a Sunday night. We are currently just over a lap into the Tier 2 race here. We've got Jill Silverin leading the way, doing a great job so far. Currently has got just over a second of a gap over Codlunga, who's picked up a drive-through penalty for his position on the race starts. So that's unfortunate for him, as we see Totally Zero has lost out to Spur Time. Down the inside of the back straight up into 4th place. That's a good move there from Spur Time. You got Remser just behind these guys ahead of Carl Marley, followed by Ericode, who seems to be dropping off for the back of this train of cars at the moment. But there you've got the pack coming out onto this sort of second little back straight which we've got here. And currently Jill Silverin, I think the first time I've seen him actually leading a race here in the Tier 2 for the GT3, so he's doing a very good job so far. Raced with us on Friday night as well for the F1 League, where we were partaking in round 13 of the season at Spa for the Belgian Grand Prix. And currently though, he's playing on his game, which I think he prefers. ACC seems to be more up his street. He's always sort of up there fighting for the strong positions on ACC. And yeah, currently leading this race here tonight in the Tier 2s. We've got a couple of drivers in the pits. I think there's damage on the cars for Nath and a funny looking guy. Looks like Nath is now off and away once again, and a funny looking guy is just getting his damage sorted out. So hopefully he can get on top of that ASAP and we can see him back out on the track soon. But some of you might notice we've got a bit of a depleted grid here tonight. Unfortunately, it seemed like everyone couldn't make tonight. Pretty much, I think we had 8 people said they couldn't come. I think 3 of them are friends from work and they've all got something on, so that's a bit of a bummer. It's good to have groups of people join because it means that a lot of people get in, but it means that when one of them's off, they're all off, and it means that it's a massive loss of drivers. But nonetheless, yeah, we're missing, I think, Luke, Exeron and Diego are all off because they're all good friends. I think they're all doing something together today. Also Day and Belito couldn't make it, and neither could Sharka Zulu and Rusta Rebel, who I think they're also I think it was those two, was it? I can't remember. I think it was, or yeah, Sharka Zulu and Rusta Rebel. Yeah, they were at the FA Cup semi-final, so they couldn't make tonight. But nonetheless, we are watching currently the battle for 4th place, which is going on between Spur Time, Totally Zero, Carl Marley and Remster. Obviously, Spur Time made the move on Totally Zero a couple of laps ago, but Totally Zero has kept on to him since then. Carl Marley with Remster just behind him there. You can see these guys coming through the middle part of the lap right now. They're dropping a little bit off of AJ Shelton, who's running in 3rd place. Jill Silverin's keeping a gap to Codlungu, but Codlungu's having to come into the pits here at the end of lap 3 because obviously he's hit that limit where you have to come in for your drive-through after 3 laps, so into the pits he comes. But yeah, there he is, currently driving through, making that drive-through penalty in the early stages of this race. But Jill Silverin now with quite a commanding lead over AJ Shelton. You can see nearly 6 seconds separating Jill Silverin and our man in P2, which is currently AJ Shelton. As I said, he's got a couple of seconds back to Spur Time, who's started to gap Totally Zero ever so slightly. Carl Marley though piling the pressure on Totally Zero at this point. Got a few comments coming in here on the stream. We got Kangi there saying like button smashed, mate. Good luck everyone tonight. Come on, Shelton. Andy, the stream took a while coming up, but nice one you're on. Yeah, eventually you got there, mate. Eventually you got there. Not feeling great, but got to get on with it. Got to handle business. Wouldn't be right of me not to. I've set a precedent which I need to maintain, but. OPT funny looking guy there saying, I lasted very long, second to last corner on lap 1 with P2 and I went wide and couldn't control it. Well mate, there's still plenty of time in this race left to go. You know, get yourself back out on track, get some laps in, enjoy yourself, might as well. What you know, it's not going to do you any good sat in that pit box, is it? But currently we're seeing the front runners just coming through the middle part of the lap at the moment. Gilles Silverin though has got a very, very commanding lead at the front. He's over 6 seconds clear of everybody else, so it's been a very dominant display so far from Gilles Silverin. What a performance he's putting in. Looks like spur time is closing in a little bit on AJ Shelton in the background there. That's Remster getting it horribly wrong there, going through the penultimate corner. He's got a bit of a gap back to Ericode, but Ericode will be that little bit closer to him after that little skirmish there. But there are the podium battlers here. Currently Carl Marley looking ever closer to the back of Totally Zero at the moment as they come through the S section at the beginning of the lap. But yeah, funny looking guy. Hopefully we'll see you back out on track before the end of this race, mate, because plenty to go and plenty of opportunities here for you to get involved in some battles and yeah, just give a good account of yourself. But Nathan J. Fletcher in the meantime has been in for an early pit stop, so obviously because he was in the pits for damage on the first lap, so he's running in 13th place. He's got that green box ticked. Keston in the comments there saying good race guys and good luck. Yeah, hopefully mate, as obviously Keston will be out on track later on for the tier 1s. That'll be at about 8:30 tonight. It's coming up straight after the tier 2s actually, as we see Carl Marley getting closer to the back of Totally Zero here, but just knocking on the door, just trying to force him into a bit of a mistake as Carl Marley, a big slide there as he got it horribly wrong, but keeping it together at the moment. But currently it's Gilles Silverin still leading the race by just over 7 seconds over AJ Shelton, who's currently just over a second here at spur time, and then you've got Totally Zero ahead of Carl Marley. Remster completing the top 6 at the moment. Second to 6th is quite close, first to second is not close at all. Looks like Fierce Mars has got ahead of Snoopy here up into 9th place, as we see Snoopy looking down the inside of Fierce Mars, but Fierce Mars holding it around the outside, goes very late on the brakes and runs wide onto the marbles, and that's going to give Snoopy the position, and Leximate's going to follow through. Leximate hits him in the back there, and Fierce Mars is round, he's facing the wrong way as Leximate there moves through, and that's given Chris the position. Snoopy there getting through as well, and he's now got Nath J. Fletcher on the back of him here, so disaster there for those guys. Alexi Mate there losing places. There's Cod, who obviously came in for his early drive-through penalty, but a bit of carnage there, not what we want to be seeing at all. Currently still Remster on the back of Carl Marley, battling over P5 and 6 at the moment, but very unfortunate there for Fierce Mars, who seemed to come off worse in that than anybody else. Lexi Mate actually gave him a tap as they were coming into the braking zone, and Lexi Mate looked like he just carried on there, just thought, well, I'm not going to be wasting time waiting for you, but you know, if Fierce Mars puts in an inquiry, that could be a stonewall penalty there for Lexi Mate, as we've got to go back to the battle for P5 and 6, because it's currently Carl Marley and Remster just under a second apart at the moment. Gap at the front between Gilles Silverin and Shelton still increasing, but not by a massive amount compared to what it was in the opening couple of laps. So I think maybe a bit of battles and just focusing on the drivers around him has maybe inhibited AJ Shelton in the first couple of laps. He's also now got spur time pulling up onto the back of him as well, so spur time is really flying at this at this stage in the race. Totally Zero's got Carl Marley and Remster very, very close on him as well, so this is a battle for 4th place. They're not really in the battle for the podium anymore because spur time has well and truly gapped them, but spur time here looking to try and make something happen here with AJ Shelton if he possibly can, as we check out the battle here between Totally Zero, Carl Marley and Remster, which is still going on here for 4th place at the moment. Carl Marley looking to the inside here on Totally Zero into the final corner. Can he get a good run here down the start finish straight? It looks like Totally Zero got a decent enough exit here as we're now coming down towards turn 1. We'll hold on here ahead of Carl Marley and Remster for the time being, but Shelton still riding in 2nd place at the moment, just under half a second is his gap right now over spur time. There's Totally Zero running in 4th ahead of Carl Marley. Oh, and Carl Marley's lost it. Carl Marley's binned it there, and that's going to give Remster P5, and Carl Marley there on the grass. Where has he come out in all this? Is he going to come out ahead of Ericode? We just see Carl Marley appearing back on the track now. Where is Ericode in all of this? It looks like Carl Marley has got it going before Ericode appears on the scene, or has he? I don't know. Actually no, Ericode's ahead of him, so Ericode into P6. Carl Marley comes out just ahead of the battle here between Chris, Snoopy and Codolungu's a few seconds behind them, but Chris and Snoopy now right on the back here of Carl Marley, as we've got 9 of you currently watching the stream. Raki says good evening all, welcome Raki, good to see you as always. Like smash, says Andrew. Go Chris, shout out to Chris GT UK, says Raki. Chris currently running in 8th place right now, doing a very, very strong job indeed. Leximate into the pits for his mandatory pit stop here at the end of lap 6 after that collision that we saw earlier in the lap there with Fierce Mars. Spur time though has got Shelton absolutely on the back of him. In fact, Spur time's got ahead of AJ Shelton because he was behind him before. So Spur time here must have made a move on Shelton somewhere. Didn't see where he's made that move, but he is now running in second place here in this race. So excellent job there from him. Really great stuff there. But currently Gilles Silver in leading the race. You've got a few seconds back to Spur time. He's got Shelton really hassling him as they're coming into turn 1. 11 of you currently watching the stream, guys, smash the like button if you haven't already. Totally Zero here is just running just ahead of Remster. We've lost the driver here. A funny looking guy has retired from the session. Obviously he was a few laps down. He thought this is not worth my time anymore, and he's decided to throw in the towel, which is a shame there to see. As we can see Remster here hassling the back of Totally Zero right now. Shelton here very close on Spur time as they come down this little back straight. Is he going to be able to send one here into this braking zone? Not quite just at the moment. Totally Zero's got Remster really close on him as they're still battling it out over 4th and 5th places. Chris there very wide as Snoopy's now looking to the inside. Is Snoopy going to be able to send one here? As he's having a little look, Chris there leaves him the space on the inside. Here goes Chris down the inside, and that's going to be job done there for him. So Snoopy even down the inside on Chris, and Chris is going to lose out here to Nath as well. Is that Nath making a move on him? Yeah, it is. So Nath getting the move done on Chris as well. So Chris losing out a couple of places. Now what has happened to Chris, because he's gone down quite a few places here. Fierce Mars, where is he? Because it says that he was on the same. Says he was no, he's nowhere near them. So Lexi, mate, obviously nowhere near them either, but yeah, Chris losing out 2 places there. Now needs to try and keep ahead of Codalungu as Cod's looking around the outside, and Chris is going to have to try and defend this one. Cod goes a little bit wide there onto the runoff. Is he going to keep the momentum there? Chris manages to hold the inside and keep ahead of Codalungu for the time being. Good driving there from Chris, but Cod really knocking on the door here. But P9 obviously was running in P2 in the early stages, so Cod will be wanting to deal with his traffic as quickly as he possibly can. Obviously had a drive-through penalty which he had to serve on lap 3, managed to stay out for 3 laps but wasn't able to get enough of a gap to come out ahead of this traffic which he's currently stuck behind. Remster still behind Totally Zero at the moment, but Codalungu still on the back of Chris but still hasn't been able to make the move on him just yet. AJ Shelton is keeping Spur Time on his toes despite Spur Time hunting him down and passing him. AJ Shelton's definitely not given up in this battle here as we see Shelton a bit wide there onto the marbles. But still very much in this battle here for second place. Totally Zero and Remster here running in 4th and 5th places. Here comes Spur Time and Shelton once again as they're just coming around to complete lap 9 of the race. You can see Totally Zero and Remster there just going through the final corner right now, just under a second between them as they're coming down the start finish straight. We see Totally Zero a bit wide there onto the speed bumps, and here we go. Remster looking to the outside here, coming down to the next braking zone, down to the end of the back straight they go. But Totally Zero covering the inside line off really nicely there, not allowing any gaps to form just at this point. Totally Zero, wily defensive driving there from him. Spur Time and Shelton still battling here over second place, but Shelton hasn't been able to find a way back through. In the background you can see that battle going on between Totally Zero and Remster. But Spur Time and Shelton currently just under 11 seconds behind the race leader Gilles Silver, who has had an absolute field day in the first few laps of this race. But saying that, In the last couple of laps, his advantage hasn't been as much. I wonder if maybe he's half tanked it, and potentially now that what he's gaining through that is now starting to get a little bit less advantageous. But still, spur time doing a good job here of weathering this storm. See Shelton got a bit of a run here down the back straight here on spur time, but spur time covering that one off for the time being. Totally Zero still just under a second ahead of Ramster at this point. Carl Marley's got Codlinga all over the back of him as they're coming down the back straight. You can see Snoopy there waiting in the wings behind them. But no dice so far for him. Here we go, Codlinga looking to the inside here on Carl Marley. Had a little look there, didn't he? He was trying to go for it, but Carl Marley for the time being just defending really well. Squeezed him to the inside. Always very wide there, but so is Cod, to be fair. Cod though managed to get a better exit coming out of that corner. Here we come down towards the end of the back straight. Is he going to look to send one here down the inside? Carl Marley going to the middle there and defending the track, and Codlinga with nowhere to go. And Carl Marley, they're doing a really good job of managing to close the space there on Codlinga. But Codlinga is looking to get on with this because he's got the pace here to be fighting for the podium places. We know that for sure, as Carl Marley very, very wide there. Codlinga is now going to get a run here down this straight, and this is going to be job done here surely for Codlinga up into 7th place. And there you go, he gets that one done there. So Codlinga moves up a position. Beautifully done there from him, as Carl Marley very wide there onto the marbles. Snoopy there closing on him as he just hits him in the rear a little bit there. Looks on the timing screen here, Totally Zero has managed to pull out just over a second of a gap here over Remster, so he's looking a bit more comfortable there in that 4th place. But AJ Shelton's still knocking on the door here of spare time. We've got Yorick Gisper's in the comments saying, good luck guys, X-Run here. Sorry I couldn't make it this week. Yeah, unfortunately we're missing a few of our tier 2 drivers, our regulars here. X-Run, Luke Van der Streets and Diego, all not here unfortunately. We're also missing Day and Belito, as well as Shark Suda and Ruster Rebel. So basically everybody couldn't make it this week. We had 14 start, and obviously we're down to 12. But usually we have a near enough 20, if not about 17, 18 or 19 drivers, but this week a little bit of an anomaly unfortunately. But nonetheless, good to see Exeron chiming in here in the comments. We've got Scooter Paul says, evening race fans, come on Chris M. Chris is currently doing very well, Paul, currently running in 9th place. Still yet to pit, but I think he'll come out ahead of Lexi Mate, because Lexi Mate had quite a long pit stop. Snoopy's just coming out of the pits now. Well, in fact, Lexi Mate's come out ahead of Snoopy, so I'm not sure actually, I might be wrong there. Might be wrong about that one, but Chris nonetheless has been doing a consistent job so far. He's got Fierce Miles pulling up onto the back of him, but we'll see if Fierce Miles has got the pace over him. I'm not quite sure if he will. But for the time being, they are running in a pretty solid battle here. Spur Time and Shelton here still fighting it out over 2nd and 3rd places. Remster all over the back of Totally 0k here, but still can't find a way through. Don't know which battle to watch right now. There's 2 battles going on, 2nd and 3rd places and 4th and 5th. Remster a bit wide there, didn't get the run. What about Shelton? Can he get a run coming out of the final corner and maybe send one into turn 1? Doesn't look like it for the time being. Can Remster get the traction here compared to Totally 0k? Doesn't look like it either, so no changes so far in these 2 little battles which we're watching right now here on lap 16 of this tier 2 round 4 here for season 4 here on the PS5 and Motive for the GT3s on ACC. It's currently Joel Silver in with a dominant performance so far. 13 seconds is his lead, but the gap's not been going up as much in recent laps. I think Spur Time and Shelton have just started to get in the zone of it. Shelton now looking to the outside here. Spur Time is having to defend the inside, coming down to the end of the back straight. Can he go for a cutback here? Does Spur Time overshoot his braking zone? He doesn't. He gets it nicely hooked up there. Shelton looking to the outside into this next right-hander, but Spur Time has got that covered for the time being. But these guys 6 seconds clear of this battle going on between Totally Zero and Remster, which is still going on. 3 tenths currently separating those 2 right now, but Shelton here looking a bit more racy than he has done in previous laps here on the back of Spur Time, trying to psych him out, trying to force him into a mistake if he can. But for the time being, Spur Time's giving him nothing to go on here. It's Totally Zero and Remster come through the next series of corners. So there goes Spur Time and Shelton coming over to complete lap 17 of this race. And they're a fair way ahead of that battle going on between Totally Zero and Remster at this point. See what a defensive line that Totally Zero is taking through some of these corners. It seems like the McLaren has really good grip off of the racing line, taking those tighter lines, and it's really helping him generate the traction out of the corners. The Bentley just doesn't seem to have that manoeuvrability, and it's giving Totally Zero a lifeline here in this battle to hold on to 4th place. Spur time is still weathering everything that Shelton has thrown at him. Obviously, spur time was considerably quicker than Shelton in the early stages. Caught up to him and passed him, but it's almost like being overtaken has given Shelton a bit of a kick up the rear here, because he's been really on spur time since spur time got ahead of him. Looking to the outside into turn 1. Does spur time go deep? Looks like he goes a little bit deep. Shelton's now going to look to try and get a cut back. Can't get it. Spur time still holding on here, and by the skin of his teeth here, keeping on to this 2nd place. But again, I've said this in the last couple of laps, Shelton's just come alive here as he goes late on the brakes, almost taps spur time in the rear there. But spur time just once again doing what he has to do. Totally Zero still keeping ahead of Remster as well. Error code seems to be still on the back of Carl Marley. They've got a car just I think a lap down there of Leximate. So Leximate has just unlapped himself there on error code, which is going to frustrate error code, I'm sure. Back to the middle of a P2. Spur time still just ahead of Shelton. You can see Totally Zero and Remster still going at it here for 4th and 5th places as well. It's Totally Zero defending the inside there. Remster's trying to force him into an error, but still nothing doing here between these two. Totally Zero now defends the inside, coming down towards the end of this little back straight. You can see Remster looking to the outside, and he's going to try and get it all the way around him here, but Totally Zero once again has that inside covered off and maintains P4 for the time being. Spur time and Shelton here coming through into the final corner. They're about to complete lap 18 of the race, and Shelton here getting a little bit of closing speed here as they're coming down towards turn 1, but still just a little bit too far away. Similar story really, we've seen it over the last few laps. No position changes, it's just been the same story really between them. Jill Silverman's still leading the race. He's got a massive gap over these two who are battling over 2nd and 3rd places, but Shelton just can't seem to find a gap at the moment. As Remster's looking around the outside here of Totally Zero K, but goes deep in that section and completely loses all of that impetus that he had. But you tell you what, he got a better run out of there than Totally Zero did. Getting a bit of closing speed here. Totally Zero is going to have to defend the inside by the looks of it, as Remster looks to the outside into the braking zone. Look how huge the Bentley is in comparison to the McLaren. It's an absolute monster, that car. McLaren of Totally Zero still defending for everything he's got here and holding on by the skin of his teeth for that P4. 14 of you currently watching on the stream here, guys. If you are enjoying, please show your appreciation for the drivers and smash that like button. As you can see, Spur Time and Shelton still running very close in 2nd and 3rd places. We've got Carl Marley and Erico both in the pits here, so coming in at the halfway mark, it makes the most sense to come in at the halfway mark. That's really the best time to do that. Carl Marley coming out of the pits. You can see Erico still sat in the box right now. Here we go, Remster looking to the outside here on Totally Zero. Totally Zero is defending the inside. Remster slightly headed to the braking zone. Totally Zero with the preferred line though, and still can't get it around him. But he's getting closer and closer here is Remster. He's just probably he's probably rehearsing this manoeuvre now. He's probably thinking in his head, probably thinking where he probably knows exactly what he needs to do and how he's going to do it. But can he put that theory into action here as he goes a bit wide there, gets onto the curb and loses a couple of tenths here, and Totally Zero looking a bit safer. And now Spur Time has just almost got a second here over Shelton, so looks as though Spur Time looking a bit more comfortable in that second spot than he has been in recent laps. These guys have just put a lap on one of the back markers. There's Remster there looking to the inside, throwing a little feint there on Totally Zero, but nothing doing just at the moment. He's just having to wait for his opportunity here. Erico with a stop-go penalty for speeding in the pits, I would imagine, most likely. That's usually what you get those for. As Totally Zero and Remster here coming over the line to start lap 21 of this race. And Remster looking to the outside here. Totally Zero parking his car in the right places for now. Remster going for a cut back here into turn 2, but nothing doing at the moment. As we see Codlingu in the box right now. There's the Audi of Erico coming into service, stop-go penalty. Go back to the battle here between Totally Zero and Remster. Still not much really between them, but still no changes here between those two. Spur Time just over a second ahead of Shelton as they're continuing to battle over second and third places here. Shelton here at the end of lap 22 on his, or 21 actually, into the pits here, so coming in just after the halfway mark. I was going to almost suggest that they're all going to be full tanking it here, but maybe not, as Codlingu's got a stop-go penalty here for speeding in the pit lane, so he's going to have to come in and stop in his box again here, which is going to be a massive ball ache for him. Shelton though in the box, and Remster continuing, sorry, Spur Time continuing on his way. Remster as well. Oh, that's going to be frustrating there for Codlingu. He's going to be kicking himself with that one. He's already had a drive through obviously for jumping the start, and this is only going to compound matters here and make his life even worse. It's fierce miles into the pits here as well at the end of lap 21. So yes, Spur Time and Remster both into the pits here in the end of lap 22, so I think they're potentially half tanking it. No, it can't be, surely not. Surely they're full tanking it. Jill Silverin. Jill Silverin staying out for the time being. So it looks like he's not planning on pulling the trigger anytime soon. Spur Time's now done his pit stop and is off and away, so that was a pretty quick stop there from him. Remster still in the box, so maybe Remster is filling up and putting some tyres in, or he potentially was a bit behind Spur Time actually on the track, so maybe he's on the same strategy but just a bit behind. Looks like he's now off of the jacks, but I reckon he's, by the looks of it, he's lost a few seconds here to Spur Time, more than about 10 or 15 seconds he might have lost to Spur Time. let's keep an eye, because he was about 10 seconds behind. I reckon he's probably more like about 25 seconds behind now, so spur time is further ahead of Remster than he was before, which is a bit strange. Cod's still got to do his stop-go penalty. Does he come in this time around? No, he doesn't. Stays out for now. It's Remster coming out of the pits here. So we see the race leader there, Jill Silver, and just putting a lap on Remster as he's coming through the first sector. He's just completed lap 23 onto 24. So it's just Jill Silver in Totally Zero and Chris who are still yet to pit in this race. And then once they've come in, we'll all have that green box ticked and everyone's all good to go to the end. Oh, Totally Zero very wide there. What's he doing? Oh no, I'm disconnecting. What's happening? Is my game crashed? Oh no, it was Jill Silver in. No, it wasn't Jill Silver in. It was, sorry, Totally Zero. So Totally Zero is disconnected here. Oh dear. Totally Zero out of the race. He was in a good position as well. He was having a good battle in that race with Remster. But unfortunately it's been cut short here, so Remster's going to be given P4 on a plate here. Which is a bummer because that was exciting. I was enjoying that. So now that really leaves Spur Time and Shelton's battle as the main sort of attraction. But saying that, Spur Time is, I believe he's doing the whole race on one set of tyres, whereas Shelton's going to have fresh tyres now. But I reckon he left it a bit too late to make that pit stop because he's not going to be able to reap the benefits of those fresh tyres for long enough, I think, to be able to make good use of them. As Cod's got disqualified, so Cod Lungu out of the race here as well. They are dropping like flies here as we're well into the second half of this race, and drivers left, right and centre here now dropping out of this race. What a shame. That's not what we want to be seeing. Totally Zero says the podium's cursed for me. This is proof. To be fair, mate, I think you were in a net P4, but like you say, due to the drivers who come into the pits in front of you, you were running in second place at the time, and it seems like it's a bit of a poison chalice for you. But no one else, which is bizarre. I don't know what it is, and that's absolutely gutting for you, as you're in a good position to score some very, very strong points there. That's really unfortunate. That is. It really is. See Chris here coming into the pits at the end of lap 25 for him. Jill Silverman continuing on his way, the race leader, continuing on for at least one more lap before he comes in for his pit stop. See Jill Silverman coming into the pits here at the end of lap 27 for him. So race leader finally coming in. We're expecting him to come out well ahead of spare time, who's only about halfway around the lap at this point. He's got 10 seconds back to Shelton, who's got fresh tyres on. And that's going to be an interesting battle fight there, because at the rate that Shelton's at right now, he'd need to lap about a second lap quicker than spare time to be on him by the time we get to the final lap. So could be quite close here between those two. This could be one to watch between spare time and Shelton. Shelton's continuing to bring the gap down here to spur time. You can see it's well under 10 seconds now, and he's gaining, I'd say, about a second a lap here. So I reckon if my maths are correct, he should be on the back of him by the time we get to sort of like the last lap, or maybe the penultimate lap of the race. I reckon it's going to be quite close here. You can see Shelton gained he gained about 6/10 in one sector there. So he is really on a mission at this point. Saying that, spur time is within 4 seconds of Jill Silverman, but I think Jill Silverman might have done a few bits to the car here, because that can't be representative. Surely he's going to pull away in this final stint. The gap, only 4 seconds between Jill Silverman and spur time. That is almost unbelievable. When you saw, we saw the gap before the pit stop phase was about 15 seconds in Jill Silverman's favour. So that's a 10-second swing in favour of spur time in the last sort of 15 minutes. That doesn't make a whole load of sense. Shelton is continuing to gain here on spur time at quite a rate as well. He gained about a second and a half on that last lap alone. So this is definitely looking like advantage Shelton in the battle for second place. There's Jill Silver and your race leaders coming up to put a lap on Chris. There is spur time in the background, and he's got a little way back to Shelton, who's currently running in third place. So yeah, Shelton's still bringing the gap down to spur time. The gap only 6 seconds now. It was about 7.5 seconds on the previous lap, wasn't it? So continuing to gain over a second a lap here. A minute. It's about a minute 35 a lap. So probably going to have, I reckon, 7 more laps, including the one that we're on at the moment. So at that rate, Shelton will definitely be in striking distance on spur time by the time we get to the final sort of 2 laps of this race. So it's definitely going to be advantage AJ Shelton here. Jill Silverton's now pulling out the gap here to spur time. He's got 8 seconds to him. He's gained about 4 seconds in the last 2 laps. So whatever it was that was costing Jill Silverton time, that seems to have now subsided. So yeah, Shelton's now pulled up onto the back of spur time. He's really, really close with the fresher tyres as well. So what is spur time going to be able to do here to try and defend this position? In the background, you've got Chris there, who's just been lapped by these two. But these guys probably got, I would imagine, 3 more laps in this race. Where is the race leader at? Joel Silverin. In fact, actually, we're going to have 2 and a bit laps because Joel Silverin's not around on the start finish line yet. So he will be in just a moment. But yeah, we're going to have 2 more laps after the one that they're currently on. So 2.5 laps for these guys. And 2.5 laps for spur time to hold on here from a driver who's about a second and a bit, a lap quicker than him on fresher tyres. So this is going to be a hell of a job here for him. But we've got Shelton here closer and closer to the back of spur time here coming into turn 1, but spur time for the time being seems to just have enough. We saw these two battling before, but obviously now that Shelton has got so much fresher tyres than what he had in the first stint compared to spur time, surely it's going to be a lot easier. You'd think he'd be able to get those exits out of the corner and maybe be able to sucker him, maybe coming down the back straight as here we come. Here we go, look at that. He's got so much better grip there coming out of the corner. Looks to the outside. Spur time's going to defend the inside, but I think Shelton should be able to get it around the outside here as long as he can keep himself there. Goes later on the brakes. Spur time trying to keep himself there, but AJ Shelton swoops around the outside there, gets it onto the curb a little bit, very wide. Spur time trying to minimise his space, but AJ Shelton moves himself through up into second place. That was a superbly executed move there on much fresher tyres, and he's proved that the half tank tyre change strategy was the way to go here at Misano tonight. And what has been not the best of races, I must say, tonight for the Tier 2s here at Motive for the GT3 Championship has kind of been redeemed there by a very, very impressive manoeuvre there from AJ Shelton. He made the best of what he had there, went around the outside and made it work. And he's up into second place, and spur time's 40 hard. Oh, he gives him a bit of a tap there. Spur time taps AJ Shelton. He needs to wait for him to get going again. Spur time needs to give that back because he tapped him around there. In fact, where is spur time ended up in all of this? He is now well off at the back of him. So yeah, no dramas, and they can carry on their way. So Joel Silver in the race leader on the final lap. These two just starting their final lap now. And AJ Shelton has hunted down his man, and he's got second place in the bag. So very impressive stuff there from him. Joel Silver went over a 20-second lead over these guys who are still battling over second place. There's spur time running in third place. Chris is now in the pits, having just done a drive-through, so he's now on his way out of the pits. Joel Silver now coming up towards the line. He's going to take the checker flag here for the Tier 2s here at Misano. Round 4 of Season 4. What a job there from Joel Silver. A very dominant victory in the end. Looked like he had the pace and some more in the tank as well. Could have pushed a little bit harder there, but well done to Joel Silver in a number 40 BMW. AJ Shelton's going to come around and he's going to make it a BMW 1-2 here. And he's going to be a couple of seconds clear of spur time as he comes over. AJ Shelton P2. Spur time gets another podium here this season, and some really consistent finishes from him. And I reckon he's going to be high up in the championship. We need to get those standings up to date because they'll tell us the full story. But Remster coming over the line to take 4th place here in the end. Another solid result there for him. Some good points in the bag there for Remster. Lexi May has finished the race a lap down in 7th. Snoopy's coming up towards the line, and it's going to be 8th place for him. Also a lap down. Chris M is coming out at the final corner. It's going to be a 9th place for him. in the McLaren as he comes over there to finish the race. But Carl Marley will be next over the line in 5th as he's coming out of the final corner, as he comes over there to take the checkered flag. And Fierce Mars will be the last driver on the lead lap. He's going to come around to take P6 as here he comes. And it will be Error Code will be the last driver to finish the race here as he's coming into the final corner. And only 10 finishes here tonight for the tier 2s. We had 14 start, not the grid that we were hoping for, but nonetheless a lot of drivers couldn't make it. We had 14 because Capriga is a tier 1 driver, he joined the wrong server. So that is that for tier 2 then, guys. Jill Silver in Shelton and Bertime taking the podium places. We'll be back very shortly for tier 1. Will be about 5 minutes and we'll have that on, so don't go anywhere.
really happy about it. We have a huge week ahead. We have 29 cars for this weekend. Absolutely incredible. Very, very talented drivers out there. So very, very competitive series. We have to be part of it. That's all we have back there. Last year, which is quite a goal. Hopefully, we go against the strong car this weekend. Yesterday we had a big practice session, which was wet. idea about it. Still we have a huge week ahead. We have 29 cars on the grid for this weekend. Absolutely incredible. Very talented drivers out there, so very competitive series. We have to be part of it. That's all we have back in the start of the last year. Go again from this weekend. Yesterday we had a pre-practice session which was wet. Today is dry. We started from zero.
Welcome back, guys. We are here for the Tier 1s tonight, Automotive, for the GT3 Championship here on ACC for the PlayStation 5 platform. Round 4 at Misano. We had the Tier 2s a few minutes ago. Sorry about the late one getting on the mic. Just had to go off and do something, but we are back once again getting ready to go for the main event of the evening. We've got 18 drivers out on the track, including one very special guest who is Jill Silverhead, who managed to win the Tier 2 race in emphatic fashion a few moments ago. And just like Diego last week, he's jumping in here to the Tier 1s to see what he can do. We've got 18 drivers currently out on the track. 31 across both tiers joined tonight, which isn't great. Not the greatest of turnouts this week. It seemed like everybody was away doing something. So we'll obviously have to do a bit of promotion here, try and get the Tier 2 filled up, and maybe we can promote a few drivers from Tier 1, from Tier 2 into Tier 1. But here we come through the final few corners, about to go racing here for the Tier 1 race here at Misano, round 4 of Season 4. At the end of tonight, we'll be halfway through the season, and that reminds me that I need to do championship standings this week. I need to do them this week. I can't put it off any longer. But here we come, guys. We are coming up towards the start finish line, and then we should be green, green, green once we go over it. As here we go. Looks like we're racing now down towards turn 1, and Tyner's here looking to go around the outside here of Ludo as Titus in fact has actually made the move, I think, into the lead. So a great move there from Titus in the house. As you can see in the background, you've got Awesome Gumball trying to defend here from Henry. Henry's looking to the outside. Has PS Fidz got ahead of him? I think he has. PS Fidz is now looking to the inside of Jill Silverin as well, as down the inside he goes up into third place. So PS Fidz with an electric start on his first lap. Oh, he gets tagged around, or did he lose it himself? I'm not sure. I think he might have been losing it before the contact was made, but he made contact there with I think it was Robe that he made contact with, and Robe's down the pack as well, but PS Fidz losing a lot of places there. But it's Titus in the lead from Ludo. Those two have gapped Jill Silverin by nearly 2 seconds here. You got Henry on the back of him ahead of Awesome Gumball, followed by Robe, who's been passed by what looks to be Henry. So Henry is, well, he was already ahead of him actually, but yeah, Henry's in just been passed around the outside there by Andrew. So Andrew made a place. Oh, he's been tagged around. Andrew's been hit in the rear there. I think he was hit by one of the Bentleys there. Andrew's down to the back, and Scooter Paul has also been clipped around, and he's losing a load of places as well. So a few drivers here running into problems on the first lap of the race. Not the start that Scooter Paul or Andrew would have wanted. Neither PS Fidz, who is also down at the back as well. So those guys all running into problems here. But it's Titus and Ludo currently breaking away at the front. Jill Silver in there running in third place ahead of Awesome Gumball, followed by Henry. Then you've got Robe there running in P6 ahead of Kangi, followed by Epiphany. There's Highgrade running in 9th place ahead of Low 3000. Then you've got Raki in 11th ahead of Mary Louise, followed by Kevsim. Yellow Army in 14th ahead of Glenn GT, followed by PS Fidz, who's pulling up onto the back of Glenn right now. Scooter Paul and Andrew, but PS Fidz are on a track that he has got good pace around. It's happened again here at Misano. He runs into problems. Last time he had to start from the pits. This time he gets involved in a first lap melee, which drops him down to the back of the pack, and he has got a lot of work to do here in this race. He just does not seem to get the luck around Misano. He's a very quick driver around this circuit, but he always seems to get the worst possible luck around this circuit. Titus is still leading ahead of Ludo. There is a battle for third place still going on between Jill Silverin and Awesome Gumball. You've got Henry there running ahead of Robe, followed by Kangi with Epiphany on the back of him. There's Highgrade running in 9th place ahead of well ahead of Low 3000, who's running in P10. You've got Kev Sim, Raki and Mary Louise, as we can see there. PS Fidz making a move here on Yellow Army up into 14th place. This should be a routine manoeuvre here for him, as in the foreground we've also got Raki here, who's got damage on the front of his car as well. But looking on the back of Low 3000, Kev Sim's got ahead of Low 3000 up into P10. So Kev Sim's done well there to get that position gained. But yeah, lots going on right now here in the early stages of this race. But Titus in the house has currently got just under a second of a gap here over Ludo, so he's looking pretty secure at this point in that position. Awesome Gumball very close on Jill Silver, and there's the rest of them all coming through your shot. You got Highgrade now a little way off at the back of the top eight. The top eight little way clear of him, as Raki again looking to the inside there on Low 3000, but with his damage on the car, that's going to be affecting his performance a little bit at this point. Andrew looking on the back of Scooter Paul here, trying to get himself into P17 if he can after that nightmare on the opening lap for him. Got Raki, who's still trying to put the pressure on Low 3000, but he's got more pressure from behind him in the shape of Mary Louise, and PS Fidz here now pulling up onto the back of these guys as well. So PS Fidz has done well since obviously the first lap. He's now looking on the back of these guys, but Mary Louise looking to the inside here of Raki as they come down towards the end of the back straight. This is surely going to be job done here for Mary Louise. Down the inside he goes and up into 12th place, and Raki's got to watch out because he's got PS Fidz now looking at his inside as well, but PS Fidz not close enough and has to think better of that one for the time being. Titus in house has got just over a second to Ludo now. Jill Silverin, after the first couple of laps he dropped off a bit. He's now starting to match the leaders a little bit. He's gapped to Awesome Gumball by over a second. Henry's still got heavy pressure here from Robe, who's got Kangi right behind him as they're both wide onto the marbles, and Kangi looking to the inside here of Robe. Robe leaves a gap on the inside which Kangi can't go for because there's not enough space for him to do it. Henry has got a drive-through penalty here, so what a nightmare there for Henry. Oh, and he's gone wide into the sign as well, into the braking marker. He's gone ever so wide there, really getting some severe level of marbles on his tyres there, and he's dropped down to 8th place there with that one. So Henry losing 3 places in one corner, and Robe up into P5 in that little debacle there. as Tynus and Ludo separated by just under a second at the moment. Jill Silverman matching the 2 leaders right now within 3.5 seconds of them. He's pulling out the gap to Awesome Gumball as we speak. Henry, when will he serve his drive through? He's probably got to do it pretty sharpish, you would think. He'd need to do it within 3 laps. He's already used one of those laps, so he needs to do it in the next one or the one after that. But currently Meridoise looking all over the back here of Lowell 3000, looking to the inside. Lowell 3000 leaves us a little space there on the inside, and Meridoise is going to get a cut back here, coming out to the back straight. Meridoise there. Oh, Lowell 3000, no! And Lowell 3000 loses it into the wall, bins it, and he was all over the place there, and that's giving Meridoise P11 here. Lowell 3000 is going to lose a load of places here, and he's dropping down, I think, to 13th place, that is. Or no, it'd be further down than that. It'd be about 14th place. Mary Louise there. Moving through up into 11th, although having said that, who's this on the back of him? In fact, Mary Louise also must have got a bit screwed over there by what happened there with Lowell 3000, because he's now down in P15, so he's lost out here to Yellow Army by the looks of it as well. So Mary Louise not getting away with that scot-free either. As Raki has been passed by PS Vid, so PS Vid is now up into 11th place after his incident on the first lap, where I'm not sure if he was tagged by Jill Silverman or whether he lost it himself, but I just know that he ended up facing the wrong way coming through turn 4 and was pretty much in last place, but then already gained 2 places by the end of the first lap, as Robe here is right on the back here of Kangi, looking to try and actually hold on, but Kangi's made the move to up into P5, so beautifully done there from Kangi, and now he can try and focus his attention on what's up the road in the shape of Jill Silver and Awesome Gumball maybe, but Robe here has got Epiphany on the back of him right now as they're coming out onto the back straight. These guys have gapped Henry a bit, who's now 2 seconds behind, running in 8th place. He's got high grade there with Kevsim in the background just going through the shop. There's Robe here looking to the outside on Kangi, but Kangi defending the inside for the time being. See, Ludo's managed to gain a little bit on Tynus over the last couple of laps. It's half a second between these two, as Ludo threw a little feint to the inside there on Tynus, but Tynus for the time being holding firm and doing a good job there of holding its ground. Kangi just out of Robo, you can see Epiphany in the background there. Henry's come in to do his drive-through penalty. He's now going to be back out on the track in a second. Robe's on the back of Kangi. There's Epiphany. A bit too far back, coming into the braking zone just there. Raki's almost pulled out a second here to Yellow Army, but you can see that Yellow Army's still keeping him in his sights. There's Meridoise and Andrew in the background. Andrew obviously had an incident on the first lap. He's been on his way back from that ever since. As here comes Meridoise, looking to try and make the move on Yellow Army. Down the inside he goes, and he's going to get that one done beautifully there. There's Meridoise up into 12th place. Job done there for him. As we look back to the leaders, you can see Tynus is still holding a slender lead right now over Ludo as they're coming out of the final corner. You can see that Ludo's getting ever closer to the back of him here as they're coming over the line to complete lap 6. He's breathing down his neck at this point. Is Ludo looking to try and capitalise on any little mistakes from Tynus in the house, but Tynus has been holding firm since the beginning of this race. Obviously, haven't managed to get the jump on Ludo off of the line. Ludo with pole position in the qualifying session. These guys are around 4 seconds clear of Jill Silverin, who's doing a fantastic job in 3rd place. Awesome Gumball matching Jill Silverin, actually going a little bit quicker than him in the last couple of laps. Awesome Gumball also closing in on the 2 leaders, Tynus and Ludo, so could Awesome Gumball be a factor here? in this race tonight. It'd be great to see him figuring in this bigger picture, but Tyson Ludo there still battling. Kangi running in P5, little way behind them, but he's gapped Robo by a couple of seconds. Robo's coming under increasing pressure from Epiphany, who's looking to the inside, throwing a little bit of a feint, but just can't get close enough at this point. There's High Grade just ahead of Kevsim. These guys 4.5 seconds clear of the stricken PS Vids, who obviously had that incident on the first lap. And Andrew's made the move down Yellow Army down the inside, just had to mute Mike for a second there. So Andrew there up into P13, so beautifully done there from him. Managed to get a great run down the back straight and executed that manoeuvre into P13 superbly. Ludo here getting close to the back of Tyner here. Is he going to be able to send one here into the braking zone at the end of the back straight? No, not just yet. Jill Silverin though, he's closing on these guys more and more, and I tell you what, he's bringing Awesome Gumball with him. I don't know whether Tynus and Ludo have just maybe stepped out of it a bit. Potentially Tynus here worrying more about what's in his mirrors and isn't really focusing on driving the car fast. He's more focusing on making sure his car's positioned in the right places, because Jill Silver and Awesome Gumball are gaining hand over fist on Tynus and Ludo, and this could very quickly become a four-way battle for this lead here. So this is going to be an exciting one. This is going to be exciting to watch this one develop. So Andrew's getting closer and closer to the back of Mary Louise, and it looks like it's going to be another potential victim here for Andrew after his first lap nightmare. But definitely knocking on the door of a P11 here in this race. These guys 10 seconds behind PS Fitz, who's running in 10th place, so they're a long way off. And it's going to be a long time before Andrew gets to anyone else once he dispatches Mary Louise. If he dispatches Mary Louise, because Mary Louise currently holding his own quite nicely here in P11. As these two are a couple of seconds ahead of Raki, who's running in 13th place. And you've got Yellow Army there, who's 4 seconds clear of Scooter Paul at this point. As we see Tynus and Ludo coming over the line here to start lap 11. Looks like Tynus is just a little bit more comfortable out the front ahead of Udo right now than he has been recently. Seems to just have a little bit more in the tank. Just has a bit more of an edge over him now than he did. I think Ludo was putting him under more pressure before. Now Tynus just seems like he's got him, I think, at arm's length. He's just holding him out of reach a little bit. For the time being, he's doing a really, really good job here. Here's Tynus in the house. Epiphany's still on the back of Robe. He's been on the back of him now for a considerable number of laps and showing no signs yet of forcing Robe into a mistake, but Robe's a very, very tough cookie to crack. Doesn't usually make many mistakes. So he's going to have to be very, very patient here, is Epiphany, I think, if he wants to get himself into P6. These guys are 7 seconds behind Kangi, so they've got a long way to go. I'm noticing also Awesome Gumball and Jill Silverman had an incident, because they are now, well, Awesome Gumball's nearly 6 seconds behind Tynus, the race leader, and he was about 3 or 4 seconds behind him before, but also Jill Silverman is 2.5 seconds behind Awesome Gumball as well. So I'm wondering if maybe these two have had a bit of a to-do. You can see there that Awesome Gumball's still running in P3. Obviously he's now ahead of Jill Silverman. So they swap positions. There is a little bit of damage there on the right side of Jill Silverman's BMW, so that could maybe be playing a bit of chaos there in terms of his drivability. Kangi's still running in P5. You've got a bit of a gap back to this battle which is going on between Robe and Epiphany. Robe's just managed to gap Epiphany a little bit over the course of the last lap or so. They've got a bit of a gap back to High Grade, who's got Kevsim on him. PS Fid's now hunting down Kevsim for 9th place. I'm just looking up the order here to see realistically where I could see PS Fid's getting to. I could see PS Fid's getting to P6 in this race, I reckon. That's got to be his target, surely. P6 is a very realistic prospect here for him. He's got good pace around this track, just unfortunately he always seems to run into bad luck around Misano. I don't know what it is with PS Fids and Misano, but they just do not get on. PS Fids and Misano, they're just not friends in terms of, I mean, it's like that. It's a love-hate relationship, because PS Fids is quick around this track, but it always seems to like to thwart his chances. It's getting closer to the back of Kevsin, but still can't find a way through. Tynus and Ludo coming out of the line here to start lap 13. You can see 0.4 of a second between those two as they're going through turn 1. But it's still the same story, really. Ludo's not putting him under enough pressure, as Epiphany's still keeping Robe on his toes in about for 7th and 8th places. Kevsim, though, has got PS Fids now red hot in his mirrors, or rather more orange hot in the mirrors. Orange and blue, his trademark livery, the one he's been running for, well, pretty much since season 1, I think, is it? Don't know. Probably season 2 on the PlayStation 5. I think he's been running that livery for. But yeah, very fetching. I must say, I think it's his own design as well. You can see it's his own design because it's missing the default stuff that you have on the car. But yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. As we can see here now, Kevsim's going to have to defend because PS Fitz has got a much better run. He's going to look to the outside now with PS Fitz. Can he get it all the way around the outside? He's not going to be able to because Kevsim's going to have the preferred line on the inside. But Kevsim went a little bit late on the brakes. Does he go deep? He does go deep. PS Fitz is going to look to get a cut back here, but Kevsim just has a car length in front and he's going to hold on into the right hander. But PS Fitz just getting a little taste there of Kevsim maybe having a bit of a slip, went a bit deep into that corner, but Kevsim still maintaining P9 for the time being. These guys are about a second and a half behind Hybrid. You can see in the foreground just going through your shot there. But there are Kevsim and PS Fitz as they are currently a fair way in front of Mary Louise, who's running in P11. He's now still got Andrew on the back of him. You can see 0.3 of a second between those two. Andrew's trying his best, isn't he, to get into P11, but hasn't been able to so far. Kevsim really wide there going through the penultimate corner. We got HPL Gertjan. Yeah, it's going to take some used to calling you Gertjan now, but obviously that's GTJ. Big fan of our YouTube channel here at Motive. Always supports us here in the community. His name is now Gertjan. Well, his name's always been Gertjan, but now I'm actually going to be calling him that. So yeah. HPR Gertjan there in the comments. Welcome to you, mate. Good evening. How are we all doing? He says, I'm doing very well, mate. Well, I'm doing okay. Well, that's a lie. I'm not doing very well, but I'm doing alright. I've got a nice distraction in front of me. Got some good action here. PS Fitz looking to the inside here on Kevsim, but no opportunities as of yet. But yeah, no, I'm glad to have the tier 1 drivers in front of us putting on a good show. As now Kevsim defending the inside. PS Fitz going to try and keep it all the way around the outside. Kevsim defending his line, parking his car in all the right places here, and PS Fitz still having to wait for his opportunity here, having to be very, very patient. Doesn't want to take too many risks here and end up getting damaged or ruining his race entirely. I'm noticing on the timing screen also that Kangi's closed up onto the back of Jill Silverin as we now join this battle for 4th place coming out of the final corner. So Kangi's definitely looking to try and pile this pressure on Jill Silverin as they're coming over the line to start what's lap 15 for them. As PS Fitz here into the pits at the end of lap 14. So in he comes. Tynus and Ludo still just under a second separating those two right now. The two leaders continue to give it everything, and Scooter Air Paul has picked up a drive-through penalty for track limits here, and that will obviously have to be served within 3 laps of now, so he needs to come in and get that done and out of the way ASAP. Gertjan says, my new name sounds a bit weird when I've had GGJPS for the last 4 years. Yeah, it's well, to be fair, guys, I'm guessing Gertjan's your first name, right? So it kind of makes a bit more sense. I mean, I don't know. GGJ, I'm guessing GGJ is your initials and PS is for PlayStation, I'm guessing. But yeah, it kind of made sense. PS Fitz in the pits nonetheless here at the end of lap 14. We can see Scooter Paul's obviously got his drive through, which he's going to have to come in and serve as soon as he possibly can. Jill Silverin and Kangi still batting it out over 4th place at the moment. Oh, it's Jill Silverin very deep there. Sorry, Kangi very deep. Sorry, it's Kangi that's now ahead of Jill Silverin, should I say. Sorry, Kangi. Kangi's ahead of him. Almost threw the position away there after he gained it. But is he going to now start putting away here from Jill Silverin? We'll have to see. Yeah, true, smart man. I do try. I've got some brain cells still left. Some. I'm not just a waffler, I promise. But there's Tynus just ahead of Ludo at the moment as they're coming down this little back straight. You can see they're just in front of PS Fitz, who is a lap down on these guys, having come in to make his mandatory pit stop already. Biffany's still over the back of Robe as they're coming down to the end of the back straight. You can see trying to keep him under the cosh a little bit here. Raki's still running in 13th on the back of Yellow Army at this point. A couple of seconds back to Henry, who's running in 14th place at this stage in the race. Epiphany still hassling in the back of Robe, but still can't find a way through. It's been the same story really. The McLaren's just got the speed on the Porsche down the straights. The Porsche's got a much better grip in the corners, but no way through. It's a very difficult track to overtake Misano, similar to Hungaroring actually. Very similar type of circuits. Zandvoort also are put in the same category as well. So Ludo into the pits from second place. Can he now get the undercut here on Tynus, who he was in a battle with in the well, for the duration of this race so far? Ludo in the pits. Let's see what sort of pit stop he gets. Is it going to be a stop and go, or is he going to be half tanking it and putting some fresh tyres on for this second stint? Looks like he is half tanking it because he's been in that box for a long time, so he's going to definitely be trying to get the undercut here. That's why he's coming in early, put some fresh tyres on and have some better pace for a couple of the laps there over Tynus, who's still continuing out there at the moment. In the meantime, Andrew is still struggling to dispatch Mary Louise. Mary Louise has been putting up a very solid defence here for what is P10 at the moment. It will be P9 in a second, but it's now P9, but it will be back to P10. It's a net P10 because obviously Ludo's been into the pits already. But Andrew just can't do anything with him right now. Mary Louise is just standing tall to every advance that Andrew makes. He's looking to the outside here. Mary Louise covers the inside line off. Andrew's looking all the way around the outside. Can he keep his nose on the inside here for the right-hander? He's just a bit alongside, but Mary Louise squeezes him out. And Andrew's still alongside though. He's looking down the inside. Mary Louise very, very deep. Almost off the track there as they went through the second of the right-handers. Somehow manages to keep onto that position there as Mary Louise. Very, very resilient driving here from the BMW. Staying ahead of the Audi for the time being. We've got Gertie in the comments saying, wait, Diego not around. No, Diego not here. He'll be back next week. But yeah, he's not able to make it. A few of the drivers weren't able to make it this week actually. It was quite a poor turnout. We had 14 for Tier 2 and 18 for Tier 1, so 32 drivers across both tiers. Not really a great turnout at all. We do need to get more drivers in. If anybody is watching, if you're interested in joining the GT3 Championship here on a Sunday, we've got spaces in Tier 2 for definite. We need to move a couple of drivers up from Tier 2 as well. So if you're interested in racing in Tier 2, anybody watching now, obviously you've got to have a SA rating of 60 or more, otherwise you won't be able to join a server. But yeah, definitely come along. www.motiveracing.com. Link is in the top left, you can see on the stream. Also in the description down below as well, if you want to check that out. As Yellow Army is now coming into the pits here at the end of what is lap 17 for him. Oh, look at that. Andrew there making a very late move to the inside. He went for that very, very late. He was thinking about it and then just went balls to the wall. And Andrew there has pulled off a worldy overtake. I did not see that one coming at all. Andrew there is up into 9th place. Great manoeuvre there. Really caught Mary Louise off guard. Mary Louise didn't see that coming in a month of Sundays. And Andrew up into 9th place. Superb. There's Awesome Gumball into the pits here at the end of lap 18. Yellow Army was already in the pits. Scooter Red Paul coming in, I assume, for that penalty, or I'm not sure actually. It might not be. It might be his scheduled pit stop now. But Awesome Gumball stopping in his box there. But Andrew, what a manoeuvre! Absolutely brilliant as they came to the end of the back straight. I think it was a bit of a knee-jerk rush of blood to the head type of scenario, and he's made it work here. See Glenn here into the pits at the end of lap 19. Awesome Gumball's got a stop-go penalty. Oh no, what a shame. So he's going to have to do that in the next couple of laps. Obviously hanging into the pits here now at the end of lap 19. Tyner's still leading, Jill Silver in second place. The drivers who are pitted, Ludo, Awesome Gumball. PS Fit's 20 seconds behind Awesome Gumball, but obviously Awesome Gumball with that stop-go penalty, it's really going to affect his race. He's not going to be able to put a podium places anymore. But there's a representative idea of where PS Fitz is at, because he's about 25 seconds behind Ludo, who is in a battle for the lead. So he's technically 25 seconds off for the lead, is PS Fitz, or a net 25 seconds off for the lead. Can he get in the top 5 maybe in this race? What a job that would be for PS Fitz if he's able to do that with Awesome Gumball with a stop-go penalty. I think it's very possible that PS Fitz could get in the top 5. Obviously a few seasons ago in season 2, in his championship season, he managed to go from the back of the pack from the pit lane into second, but the standard in this league was not at the level that it is now. Back then, I'll tell you that for free. So it would be a hell of a performance if PS Fitz can get into the top 5 here tonight. That would be unbelievable. Hanging out at the exit of the pit, so is Epiphany. Awesome Gumball still hasn't moved from his box by the looks of it. Looked like his wheels were spinning there, but it ended up not moving at all. Kevster into the pits here at the end of lap 20. He was on the back of High Grade, but now High Grade left on his own, so High Grade potentially full tanking it. What's Kevsim done? Let's have a look and see how long he spends in the box. That will tell us the answer. Just to update you all, Kangi's come out 12 seconds behind Ludo after doing his mandatory pit stop. Kevsim in the box. Let's see how long he spends in the box. That to me, I think, is definitely a tyre change and a bit of fuel going in the car, because that was not a particularly quick pit stop there for him. Yeah, he's still in the box, not off the jacks yet, I don't think. His wheels are moving, which is strange, but I think that's a glitch. But yeah, still start there right now. Andrew also in as well. Kev Sim and Andrew both coming in on the same lap. So yeah, I think both of them two definitely putting some fuel and some tyres in their cars. So there we go, Kev Sim now off the jacks, Andrew also off the jacks, and away they go back out onto the racetrack. Ludo could be a net race leader, could be a net second, it depends what Tynus is doing, and Tynus is in the pits right now. Didn't see that one, so Tynus there's come into the pits at the end of lap 21 and he's away now. So question is, where is Ludo going to come out? Ludo's nowhere near him. Ludo is absolutely nowhere near him. Not even close. So Tynus is just coming out. Oh, it's a long pit lane, to be fair. It is a long pit lane. You're on the limit for a while. So Tynus is just coming through turn 1. Ludo is just coming through the final few corners. But I reckon Tynus has probably put a full tank of fuel in. So Tynus is going to have worn tyres. Ludo will have fresh tyres, although not that fresh, because he put them on, I think, in about minute 26. There was about 34 minutes on the clock when Ludo came in. So yeah, it's about minute 26 he came in. As we see Meridois in the pits right now. Cloggy boy.
Hello.
Oh, yeah, you alright?
I really don't know what I put you on for.
Oh, really? Sorry about everybody, I just had to just duck off for 5 minutes just to quickly chat to my boss, but we've currently got Ludo here on the back of Henry as they're coming down this second little back straight here, and you can see that they're having a good little battle, but obviously Henry will be wanting to get ahead of Ludo's, or rather Ludo's actually got ahead of Henry, sorry, because Henry's yet to pit, so Ludo's actually made that move up into 4th place. Tynus did come out ahead of Ludo obviously because the Tynus didn't change tyres or put any fuel in. What's the gap between Tynus and Ludo? This could be quite pivotal here to how the race is going to pan out. Tynus obviously coming through the first sector, Ludo just coming round to start lap 26. So the gap's 22 seconds right now between Tynus and Ludo. I reckon we're probably going to have, looking at the timing screen, looking at the amount of time we got in the session, I reckon we're probably going to have about 12 laps of racing from here. So Ludo, if he can average 2 seconds a lap quicker on his fresher tyres, which is probably not going to be likely, he will be able to catch Tynus, but I think that Tynus should have this one covered here. He is trying to get ahead of High Grade. High Grade could be the thorn in the side for Tynus here, but I can't see Ludo recovering 22 seconds, not even with fresh tyres. I just can't see it happening. I know that the tyre advantage is big around Misano, but I think it's unlikely. There's Glenn in the comments saying, internet went, so sorry to whoever hit me, I tried to stay off the track. Oh, shame that one, Glenn. Obviously some good points would have been in the bag, but these things happen, unfortunately. The internet gods, when they decide to intervene, there's nothing you can do to stop them. But High Grade here with Tynus very close to him, and High Grade in no mood to wave Tynus by here, and he could really be playing into Ludo's hands with holding Tynus up a little bit. Tynus might be getting a bit frustrated here because he knows that he's on the worn out tyres, and any time spent behind High Grade could be giving that impetus to Ludo behind. But it is currently High Grade still running in second place right now, albeit with a pit stop required. There we go, Tynus making a move there on High Grade, which should have been a routine move. Saying that though, with all of that going on, the gap to Ludo is now 20 seconds, so Ludo's gained about 2 or 3 seconds just in the last lap alone, and High Grade's not done here. I tell you what, he's trying to go back at Tynus, see him in the slipstream there, looking to the inside, trying to put him off a little bit. Tynus should have that one covered off, as long as High Grade doesn't run into the back of him. Clean driving from High Grade, very conscientious, didn't go steaming in on the brakes. So Ludo, that's job done there for him up in, job done there for Tynus up into second place, but Ludo is within 20 seconds. He's only 19.6 seconds now behind your net race leader. Robe is your race leader, but he's still got to pit. Once he does, I think he'll come out behind Tynus, Ludo, and it remains to be seen whether he'll come out ahead of Kangi. That we're going to find out. But Tynus here is your net race leader, and with, I think we're going to have, more than likely we're going to have about 10 or 11 laps left in this race. The gap between Tynus and Ludo is 19 seconds, so Ludo would need to lap about 1.8 seconds a lap quicker than Tynus if he is to get this victory. And that's what's required with his fresher tyres. His tyres are fresher by about 16 laps, about 15 or 16 laps they are fresher than what Tynus's are, so it's possible, it's certainly not out of the question. If you're going to go by the theory that you lose about a tenth a lap through tyre wear, which I don't think is quite the case, although it might be around this track actually. Yeah, we could be seeing a grandstand finish to this race, but stay tuned guys, because it's going to be an exciting one to see who's going to take the win. I reckon Tynus is probably going to be alright as long as he has a clear passage and no dramas from here to the end, but it is still all to play for. And his gap to Ludo right now is 18.5 seconds as Tynus is coming around to start lap 29 of the race. So I reckon we're going to have 9 laps from here. From where we're at right now, probably about 9 laps. And what is the gap to Ludo? Let's keep an eye on this. Oh, Ludo ever so wide there, hitting the sleeping policeman as well as he came out of the corner. The gap's 18 seconds, so Ludo needs about 2 seconds a lap quicker than Tynus to take the win here. I reckon it might be a bit of a step too far here for Ludo. I reckon that Tynus is going to be in for his 4th win from 4 races. What a season he is having here at Motive on a Sunday and on a Wednesday night as well. He's been a force to be reckoned with. He's been a dominant driver over the course of this season. With the absence of his well-known illustrious teammate Jazzman, he has been absolutely unstoppable so far this season. He really has been absolutely excellent. Kang in the meantime has got ahead of Raki up into P6, so that's a job done there for him. Rebe's still leading the race, but still needs to come into the pits at some point between now and the end. Noticing on the timing screen here that Kev Sim is being caught here by Andrew. Andrew's only 1.2 seconds behind him right now, as Racky's coming in and making his mandatory pit stop here at the end of lap 31. But Andrew getting himself within a second of Kev Sim right now, continuing to pile this pressure on as we speak. And we've lost a driver from this race. Oh, Awesome Gumball's retired. So Awesome Gumball leaving the session here. What a shame. Andrew really close now on the back of Kev Sim here coming into turn 1. He's getting closer and closer, breathing down the neck of the BMW, coming through turn 2 and 3. And this is now looking like it's going to be a matter of when with Andrew. Just seems to have the pace around here, but unfortunately got embroiled in a few incidents which really did cost him here tonight. There's no doubt he could have been a force to be reckoned with tonight without the incidents that he's had. So here we come through the final corner once again. Andrew just getting a bit closer to the back of Kev Sim here, coming out onto the start finish straight. He's looking to the outside, but Kev Sim here defending the inside very nicely there. No gaps really forming for Andrew at this point. Jill Silverin is closing up onto the back of Epiphany right now as well. This could be a potential manoeuvre being shaped up here. Jill Silverin obviously took the win in Tier 2 in dominant fashion. Is driving as a guest driver in Tier 1 tonight, as he was so quick in Tier 2. We thought best get him in Tier 1, see what he can do. Was up there actually, much better position than he is now earlier on, but lost out quite considerably in the pit window. Got quite unlucky really. That kind of dropped him out of the picture a little bit. But nonetheless, I think still on course for a P7, maybe a P6 here, if he can get ahead of Epiphany, because obviously a couple of drivers he's still yet to pit ahead of them, High Grade and Henry, I think will come out behind these two. But he's just trying to test the waters and push Epiphany as much as he can here. Oh, Jill Silver in wide there onto the marbles, getting it all wrong. That's lost him about a second here to Epiphany, who's now looking a bit more comfortable in that 8th place. These two obviously will inherit the positions. I think High Grade and Henry should lose out to him when they come in. But when are they going to come in? Are they going to leave it until the very last lap here? I think they're going to get probably 2 more chances, including this one, to come in. Robe's just coming into the final few corners. Is he going to duck in this lap? No, he stays out for now. Now the thing is, Robe needs to come in. He really needs to come in the next lap, because he'd be taking a big risk if he doesn't come in the next lap, because I don't think we're guaranteed 2 more laps in this race. Or rather, I don't think we're guaranteed 3 more laps in this race, so obviously he would need to come in, if you get what I mean. So Highgrade now ducking into the pits, so he's getting his pit stop done. Is Henry going to come in as well this time around? He's coming through the final few corners. No, Henry stays out, so he's going to go 1 more lap here. Is Henry. Robe continuing round. He's got a bit of traffic ahead of him. Obviously he is your race leader at the moment, but I'm expecting that to be P4, P5 by the time the pit stops are done. Well, saying that, he's ahead of Henry, so could be a P3. Maybe a P3 on the cards for Robe, maybe? Who knows? I mean, it's going to be close. Like, it's going to be quite close with Kangi, I say that. Highgrade now on his way out of the pits. He's come out just behind PS Vids. He might come out ahead of Epiphany here. So Epiphany and Jill Silvering coming into turn 1. Has Highgrade cleared them? I think he has. He has, yeah. He has. He's cleared them by a few seconds here. So Highgrade's come out ahead of PS Vids, which is great news here for Highgrade. I wasn't expecting him to come out that far ahead. So he's ahead of this battle between Epiphany and Jill Silvering. And that's great news for him. As Robe, end of lap 36, coming into the pits. Tynus coming round to start lap 37. This is probably going to be the penultimate lap of the race, because he's got enough time to get round and do 1 more. So it's going to be a 38 lap race here. Henry staying out, or well, he might be in this lap, we don't know, we'll have to see. He can afford to wait 1 more lap, but is he going to? Probably isn't aware of that, and he is coming in, so playing it safe there on his way into the pits. Tynus in house, your race leader. He's got a big gap back to Ludo. Ludo has gained on him, obviously in the final stint. I said he would, because he's got fresh tyres on, but he's not gained anywhere near the amount that he would need to even trouble Tynus slightly. He's gained about 5 seconds over the course of the last 10 laps, which is about half a second a lap, and I was saying before he'd need about 2 seconds a lap to actually win the race, so not even nearly enough to give Tynus any sort of concerns here in the closing stages. Henry now on his way out of the pits here. He's coming out behind PS Vids and Highgrade by the looks of it. He might come out behind Epiphany. Let's wait and see. Epiphany coming through turn 2 and 3, so he's going to lose out to Epiphany. Jill Silvering's going to move ahead of him as well, so Jill Silvering up into 8th place. Where's Henry going to come out? Is he going to come out ahead of Kevsim? Oh, well ahead of Kevsim. So Henry's going to come out in P9, I think. So not too bad there for Henry, but Jill Silvering's dropped off at the back of Epiphany here. Epiphany looking a bit more comfortable there in P7 right now. Highgrade has lost out to PS Vids. So PS Vids has got himself into a top 5 spot. I said before that had to be his ambition. It was surely going to be his target. And he's got himself into 5th place, and what a drive that is from him, considering the fact that he was P18 on the first lap. He's done absolute bits here as PS Vids. He's gained 13 places. I said before a few seasons ago, when he went from the pit lane to 2nd, it was a very different story back then, because the league was not as competitive then as it is now. But in a very, very competitive Tier 1 field, he has managed to go from P18 up into P5. You cannot knock PS Vids for the job he's done tonight. Absolutely brilliant in a car that he's not as confident in either. He's not as au fait with the BMW as he is with the Bentley, but he's made it work absolutely superbly. As we see, Tynus has got half a lap left to go here, as he is on lap 38 of the race. So here he comes, race leader. Got a few corners left to go. He's got a 13-second lead over Ludo. What a season it's been from Titus in the house. He's going to make it another win here in GT3 Season 4 here for the PlayStation 5 GT3 Championship. Here he comes. Titus in the house is going to make it 4 out of 4. A flash the lights from our man in number 13, Bentley. And he is just absolutely rubbing salt in the wounds this season. Raki, a lap down, finishes in 12th place. Ludo's going to come up towards the line to take second place, second best, but a well-deserved good haul of points there for him. Second in the end for Ludo. Where is Mary Louise? Mary Louise is coming through the final few corners. Where's Robe? Robe's going to take a very creditable podium after leading much of the race as he left it until the very last lap to come in. So Robe up towards the line is going to take a podium as he flashes his lights. Kangi a few seconds behind Robe is going to take 4th place here in the end. Next over the line will be Mary Louise, who takes home P13, a lap down. Yellow Army next over the line in 14th place, also a lap down. And then I think we should be seeing PS Fids coming into the final corner. Here he is. So PS Fids here, out onto the start finish straight for the final time. And what a drive from him. Really did get himself up from not a great first lap. He'll be disappointed, I'm sure, because he had the pace to be on the podium tonight. But P5, he's done fantastically. High Grade takes P6 ahead of Epiphany in 7th, followed by Jill Silverin, who comes over in 8th place. Henry's going to come around to take 9th as he's letting Kevsim past. So Kevsim and Andrew battling to the final corner here as Andrew looking down the inside. Can he get this move done? Andrew's going to mug Kevsim right at the end and he's going to take 9th place here. So Andrew gaining 2 places in the last couple of corners. Well done, Andrew. Kevsim 10th and Henry 11th. Scuderia Paul has finished the race a lap down. He's the last driver to finish, and that is that then for tonight. So well done to all the drivers. Oh guys, not my best commentary performance tonight, I must admit. I'm not feeling the best. I'm just not in a great place at the moment, and I'm also absolutely exhausted as well. But thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks to everybody who gave us support here live on the stream. You guys are massively appreciated, and I aim to make sure once I'm back feeling my best again, I promise you I will give the guys out on track the justice and the attention that they deserve. Yeah, it's just not coming together at the moment. I know why, and I know it's me, and it's not the action, it's not you guys, it's me. But guys, thank you ever so much. We'll see you soon. Take care, everyone. We'll see you on Wednesday for the GT3 Sprint League, and yeah, from me it's a good night. Cheers.